From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
Lauren, good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez, and here are your headlines on this Tuesday, August the 18th.
Now that the rent moratorium has expired, many are looking for help from the city of Indianapolis before they are evicted. Working for you, the glitches viewers say they're facing with the program and what's being done to fix it.
And COVID-19, now the third leading cause of death in our country. That's second only to heart disease and cancer. Why some states and schools are doing to make changes as the cases continue to climb.
And we do want to welcome you in here to Good Morning Indiana. Rafael, good morning to you down in Johnson County. Hope you had a great birthday yesterday.
I did. Can I tell everyone how awesome you are? So Lauren DoorDashed 6 donuts, half dozen donuts to my home yesterday. Quite a surprise, of course. All those donuts were all fat-free and sugar-free.
Yes, of course.
So Lauren, thank you so much for being an awesome friend.
You're welcome.
Of course, our other good friend, Todd Clausen, has great news today, though. A little bit of rain, though, Todd. No humidity when you step outside.
Yeah, you know, there's a few showers out there, Rafael, just kind of a little speed bump in the forecast this morning. Once we get to this afternoon, we'll get into the sunshine, and tomorrow is going to be absolutely spectacular. But here are the showers on WRTV radar right now, and you can see them making their way through mainly northern portions of central Indiana. But where it's raining, it's coming down pretty decent. Now, no thunder here. This is just some plain old rain. But northern portions of Henry County, in the Prairie area, Anderson, Alexandria, over to Noblesville. As you work your way into Hamilton County, some decent rain. As we slide a little further to the west, scattered rain from Crawfordsville to Lebanon to Bainbridge down into the Danville area. And you can see it streaming from west to east. So we'll have to be patient. It's going to take a little while for these showers to make their way through the area. But eventually we will get there. 60s and 70s this morning on the thermometer. We're probably not going to move much temperature-wise here this morning. But as we thin the clouds out, get rid of the showers by this afternoon, partly cloudy skies, and it does turn into a nice day with a high temperature in the upper 70s. So just be a little bit patient here, and we will get into the sunshine and those nice temperatures later on this afternoon. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic. If you're heading out on the road right now to start your Tuesday, here's a look on the southwest side. This is I-465 and Monroe. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. No major issues here to slow you down, so that's great news this morning. Turning to some new developments surrounding the investigation into Drayjon Reed's death. State police are hoping you can help them track down a possible witness to this incident. ISP wants to speak with the driver and whoever else was in this SUV, which was seen at the intersection of 62nd Street and Michigan Road on Wednesday, May 6th around 6 p.m. That was the day that an IMPD officer shot and killed Reed after a chase. IMPD says there was an exchange of gunfire between the officer and Reed. Reed was killed. The officer was not hurt. Police say that a weapon was found lying next to Reed's body. Attorneys for Reed's family say that surveillance video shared in June is evidence Reed was not holding a gun at the time. If you think you've seen this vehicle or if you know who is driving it, police say to call them at 765-778-2121.
Lauren, also developing this morning, Indiana conservation officers have identified the 3 people who died in Lake Monroe on Saturday. They are 67-year-old Estela Huerta, 31-year-old Alejandro Huerta, Hernandez Huerta, and a juvenile, all 3 from Lawrence. Investigators say witnesses saw a vehicle drive down the Payne State Recreation Area boat ramp and entered the water. The driver of the vehicle reportedly called out for help and attempted to exit the vehicle. The witnesses were not able to rescue the victims before the vehicle went underwater. This accident remains under investigation.
Indianapolis Public Schools is providing resources to help families navigate this new normal. The IPS Parent Institute offers free weekly webinars. Education and business experts will discuss different topics and offer support. The next session for this is held Thursday evening to talk about grading and attendance. The presentation in English starts at 5 o'clock, followed by a Spanish version at 6 o'clock. Today will be the second day of the school year for IPS students, and we spoke to a family who says that things are going smoothly for them so far. Tamara Rogers set up learning stations in the rooms for her 3 boys. They each have a new desk. Tamara and her 7th grader Xavier tell WRTV that they're making the best out of this situation.
I think it's going well. There was a lot of anxiety last night. We did a test run with each of the boys, each of the computers again last night, but there was no sigh of relief until we actually saw the teacher, we could hear the teacher, and we knew that things were a go.
So far, it's been good and normal. My favorite part is lunch, because in lunch, instead of having the school food and it being like a gamble on what you're gonna eat, you get to eat what your parents supply, which is great food.
And we understand that lunch is always a great subject. We wish him and all the students returning to school a great school year. Now to the latest on the COVID-19 cases across our state. The state's health department now reporting 603 new cases. That was on Monday, bringing the total number in our state to 81,006 Hoosiers. 6 new deaths also confirmed. More than 2,900 Hoosiers have died from the virus. 914,000 people have been tested so far, with about 8.9% of them coming back positive. Lauren?
And Raphael, the coronavirus is now the third leading cause of death here in the United States, and Texas is now the 4th state to surpass 10,000 deaths. ABC's Megan Tabrizian has the latest, including the battle to safely reopen schools.
This morning, COVID-19 is now the 3rd leading cause of death in the U.S., second only to heart disease and cancer. One of the nation's leading health experts warning now is the time to get this under control. Dr. Deborah Birx wishing the U.S. had originally shut down like Italy.
We've learned what Americans were willing to do in combating the virus.
COVID cases at nursing homes skyrocketing, up 80% since early this summer. Long-term care facilities account for more than 40% of coronavirus deaths, despite housing less than 1% of the country's population. The sudden spike fueled by new cases in the South, where the debate over schools is taking a new turn.
This return to campus is not safe. There will be people who will get sick.
At Georgia Tech, dozens protesting the decision to return to campus by staging a die-in. And just 1 week after reopening, the University of North Carolina is backpedaling, switching to remote learning after 130 students contracted the virus.
We have always said that we would respond to the situation as it evolved. The situation has changed, and we believe that taking these actions are necessary at this point.
Elementary schools in the state are also seeing an uptick in cases. This school temporarily shutting down after a cluster was linked to a faculty member. Tennessee is facing a severe shortage of teachers and support staff. 1,200 vacancies for educated-related jobs. In South Carolina, there are nearly 1,100 vacancies. And now, teachers who quit over safety concerns could be slapped with thousands of dollars in fines for backing out of their contracts.
There's also new trouble at one of the nation's largest fire departments. Chicago's Fire Academy had to close down after an outbreak. Officials saying they've had nearly 300 cases and 2 Chicago firefighters have died from the virus. Megan Tabrizian, ABC News, San Diego.
This morning, we are working for you, WRTV, getting answers for renters who are having trouble finding and applying for a financial assistance program in Marion County. Shortly after the program launched last month, we told you that more than 10,000 people applied for this program in just 3 days. Now the need for help is even more urgent since the state's moratorium on evictions, as you may recall, expired last Friday, August the 14th. More funding has been added to the program, but some people, they're facing roadblocks trying to sign up. You see, Kimberly Thomas, she tells us that when she finally received an email with a code that her landlord needed to complete her application, another problem popped up.
They tried to go in and process it, but when they looked at it, it came in as my child dependent name, which is on my lease and the application. So the rental office contacted me, said that they cannot process it because it's not in my name.
The city told Thomas several applicants are having the same problem. The system does not allow edits after an application is submitted, and she can resubmit when the process reopens. Now, we reached out to the city on her behalf. A spokesperson tells WRTV that they're working on a workaround, and staff are now reaching out to Thomas's landlord to address this vital issue.
This morning, police are asking for help finding a missing Indianapolis man. 55-year-old Donald Smith was last seen on the southwest side last Thursday. He may be wearing either a sleeveless or Hawaiian shirt and a black hat that has the Beatles written on it. Smith also has a Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner tattoo on one arm and a bulldog on the other arm. Police say that he drives a 1999 white Nissan Altima with possible Indiana handicapped license plate. Smith has a reddish-brown Chihuahua named Bella with him as well. If you have any information about where he might be, call police. That number is 317-327-3811.
So let's talk about hiring Hoosiers. A popular tortilla company announced it's bringing more than 500 jobs right here, new jobs, to central Indiana. Mission Foods has chosen Plainfield in Hendricks County for a new state-of-the-art manufacturing facility that will produce corn and flour tortillas, tortilla chips, flatbreads, and other baked goods. With that, they plan to create 544 new jobs by the end of 2026. The facility is expected to begin operations early next year and be fully functional by 2024. You can find a link to apply to these jobs in this story at hiringhoosiers.com. Time now to check in your forecast with Todd Clausen, and he's tracking some scattered showers throughout central Indiana. Good morning, TK.
Yeah, Raphael, good morning to you. Some rain across parts of the area. We'll deal with these showers throughout the morning hours before eventually working some sunshine back into the forecast. You see our rain chances are the highest through about 10 a.m. and then they'll start to decrease as we work our way into the afternoon hours. Here's what it looks like on radar. And you can see this band of pretty decent rain from Newcastle to Anderson, back to Noblesville, Lebanon, Frankfort, as well as the Brownsburg area. So we're also just picking up a few lightning strikes now. You just saw them pop up on your screen there over towards the Newcastle and Anderson area. So throughout the course of the morning hours, can you go outside? It's a little iffy here this morning, but once we get into the afternoon hours, you can start to head out with partly cloudy skies by this evening, mostly sunny skies as it turns into a really, really nice day. Just be a little bit patient here this morning as these showers move through. More on those coming up in just a few minutes.
In normal times, something like this would probably never happen. But these are not normal times.
So unlikely speakers helped to kick off this year's Democratic National Convention. Coming up, the united messages from across the aisle.
And a higher purpose.
And the NBA All-Star Game set for Indy may have to be rescheduled, while the league says it's unlikely to go on as planned. That and much more on this Tuesday right here on Good Morning Indiana.
Welcome back. It is 5:15. The Democratic National Convention is underway, being produced virtually all around the country. Scripps correspondent Joe St. George explains how both Democrats and some Republicans united last night and what we can expect later today.
Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He is clearly in over his head.
Night one of the Democratic Convention is over, with former First Lady Michelle Obama virtually inspiring Democrats nationwide. Republicans who are supporting Biden also getting their time in the digital spotlight, like former Ohio Governor John Kasich.
I'm a lifelong Republican, but that attachment holds second place to my responsibility to my country.
So what should you look for tonight? Well, Dr. Jill Biden, Joe Biden's wife, will be reintroduced to the nation as the keynote speaker. Former President Bill Clinton, who has spoken at conventions since 1988, will also get a chance to speak.
The theme for tonight is Leadership Matters, but the bigger question may involve your TV remote and those television ratings, whether Americans are watching a virtual political convention in the same way they would an in-person one.
President Trump today will speak in Arizona to try and provide a convention alternative for his supporters. But as for delegates who were supposed to be in Milwaukee, they tell us everything is just so different. Convention delegate Sean Sindelman says it's just hard to get excited for delegate meetings on Zoom.
I think that's the overarching theme for day one, is the lack of energy and camaraderie.
In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Let's keep on the issue of politics this morning. Vice President Mike Pence, he made an unannounced trip to Indiana. Mr. Pence traveled to the site of Abraham Lincoln's childhood home in Spencer County, right here just south of Indianapolis. When on his way from the Evansville airport yesterday, Mr. Pence, he waved at a group of about 36 supporters from his motorcade. Not much is known about his visit, but the National Park Service said the replica of the Lincoln family log cabin would be closed for the public for a filming event. Lincoln, who was the first Republican elected president, moved there at the age of 7 before going to Illinois back in 1830. Lauren?
And Raphael, more than half the country hasn't committed to the new plan for federal unemployment. With stimulus deal talks stalled, President Trump signed legislation for $400 a week from the government. However, several states would have to pay a quarter of the cost to give people the full benefits. Survey from the Associated Press shows that as of yesterday, only 18 states said that they will take the federal grant. 30 states say they're still evaluating the offer, and 2 have turned it down.
So have you heard this term? It's called maskne. It's become a well-known term as people report outbreaks on their face. They're blaming that on wearing their mask during this pandemic. But dermatologists say that as the weather cools down, your maskne may improve. See, masks alone can create an environment on the skin with a lot of moisture. So add humidity and add some of that heat, and that can create some bacteria and yeast growing on your face. So as we move toward fall, dermatologists say cooler weather could provide some relief from the maskne. However, doctors still emphasize that we should take care of our skin before we put on a mask. It also helps to rinse with a mild cleanser after taking one off. Time to check your forecast. And Todd Clausen, as I stepped outside this morning, no humidity here in Franklin, so hopefully that will be on tap for the entire week. Is that possible?
You know, it will be, Raphael. I think really you'll notice no humidity the next couple of days, and especially in the morning hours. We have a couple mornings once we get past today where we'll be in the 50s. It's going to be real comfortable sleeping weather. The one issue this morning is we're still in the process of getting that nice weather pattern here into central Indiana. We have this little disturbance that's working its way through the area, and as a result, we're dealing with some of these rain showers still over towards Richmond, to Cambridge City, up into Economy, Indiana, and then just north of Newcastle, you see some heavier rain. And then towards the Anderson area, we're dealing with some pretty good rain that's coming down back into Noblesville. And as we continue our westward trek, as we work our way into Boone County, Lebanon, up towards Zionsville, some decent showers. And the rain here in Danville, that's likely is going to make its way towards Indianapolis. Most of this rain is making its way from west to east, so probably going to be coming into the metro area as we work our way into about the 5:30 time frame in Speedway, and then downtown Indianapolis a little bit after that, within probably the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. So this band of rain is going to work its way through. You notice the back edge of it is in eastern Illinois, about to cross into Indiana, and it will continue to work its way through the area this morning. And not everybody's seeing the rain, obviously. Bloomington down towards Bedford and Columbus, you're dealing with skies that are partly cloudy right now. But for those of you who are seeing the rainfall, just got to be a little bit patient here this morning. It'll move out by about midday, and then as we work our way into the afternoon hours, we'll start to clear things out, and it does turn into a pretty nice day across the area. 70 in Muncie and Indy right now, 69 in Bloomington. Temperatures this morning with the showers that'll be around will hold pretty steady in the mid to upper 60s. And then as the clouds start to thin, temperatures will make the jump up into the low 70s later on this afternoon. And then this afternoon, it will be really, really nice. So that's why you just got to be a little bit patient here this morning to get the sunshine in here. And high temperatures will be below normal, but very, very comfortable in the upper 70s with that low humidity. And then tomorrow morning, oh, I can't wait to go to bed tonight and just open up my windows and turn the air condition off and let the temperatures cool into the 50s. And that's where we'll start on Wednesday morning, and then throughout the day tomorrow, make those outdoor plans. Absolutely beautiful. Sunny skies starting again in the 50s and 60s, warming up to a high temperature of 80 degrees on Wednesday, 82 on Thursday, 85 on Friday. All three of those mornings will feature temperatures in the 50s to start the day. And then over the weekend, mid-80s with partly cloudy skies and just the chance of a spot storm on race day. Right now, it looks like that storm chance is about 20%. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic. If you're heading out on the roads right now, this is a look in the downtown area at I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. All lanes are open and traffic is traveling up to speed. Looks like everything is smooth for your morning drive if you're heading out the door right now, so that is great news. I'm not monitoring any major crashes or delays for your commute at this early hour. Raphael?
So the two largest drugstore chains in our country, both Walgreens and CVS, are putting in precautions as they prepare to dispense flu shots this season. Here's what you can expect when you go in to those major stores. USA Today now reporting that pharmacists, they will check temperatures, they will screen for other symptoms, and they will also wear face shields while giving that vaccine. Both chains are now offering flu shots with those precautions. Patients will also have to wear masks and are encouraged to schedule an appointment ahead of time.
In sports, the Pacers playoff series against the Heat tips off in Orlando tonight. The blue and gold technically have home court advantage, but of course they're playing all those games in the NBA bubble. Unfortunately, a major NBA event at Bankers Life Fieldhouse is likely not going to happen as scheduled. A league spokesperson says next year's All-Star game is unlikely to take place in Indianapolis over President's Day weekend as originally planned. They say things could change because of the uncertainty around the NBA restart.
So, Lauren, it's not Throwback Thursday, but I want to take you back in time. The popular TV home of Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia. Ah, yes, it's been sold. After the break, a look at the Golden Girls' home that was quickly taken off the market. That and more coming up right here on WRTV. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The iconic Golden Girls home is now off the market, and it was bought for way more than the asking price. The modern mid-century home was used in the first season of the beloved 80s sitcom set in South Florida, but the home was in Los Angeles, and it was originally listed for just under $3 million. But only after a couple of weeks on the market, it was sold for a full $4 million. No word on who bought it, but the listing agent was amazed by the interest in the home, saying she had no idea there were so many Golden Girl fans in the world. Let me echo the theme song of that show. Todd, thank you for being a friend. So good morning to you on this Tuesday.
Right back at you there, Raphael. I'm not going to sing it for you, though. I'll just say it back in return. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with some rain showers making their way through the area. Showers are not going to stick around all day. That's the good news. They're with us here throughout the morning hours, and then they'll start to move out. Here's a live look at WRTV radar, and you can see it's the heaviest of the rain is in the Anderson area into the northern portion now of Henry County towards the Springport area. There's been a few lightning strikes here and there. We'll continue to watch these showers stream through the area this morning, but this afternoon it's beautiful with partly cloudy skies and comfortable temperatures. We'll talk about not only this afternoon, but beyond coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana. We are streaming now on this Tuesday, August the 18th. I'm Rafael Sanchez coming to you live from our Johnson County studio in my living room as we continue to social distance. Our Lauren Casey is in Studio A. Our Todd Clausen is in Indiana's best basement, giving us the forecast. Lauren, first of all, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Raphael. And we know that it's going to be a great week of weather, but Todd's telling us some of you may be noticing some rain showers this morning out your window. So, Todd, what's that all about?
Yeah, especially those of you north of Interstate 70 seeing these rain showers moving through. The further south you are, not much of any rain. Bloomington, Bedford, you're enjoying partly cloudy skies, but we'll start you off with radar and show you where it is raining. And this is just part of the front that's going to decrease the humidity and usher in that real nice air mass making its way through the area. Just going through a little slower than anticipated. We were hoping to be out of the area by this morning, but obviously not the case here. Muncie to Springport, over towards Hagerstown as you work your way into Wayne County. Richmond dealing with some decent rainfall. And as we come over into the Lebanon area and now down into Hendricks County, Brownsburg, Danville, some pretty heavy rainfall. And this is going to be making its way into the metro area here pretty shortly. Claremont Speedway area within the next 10 minutes or so, you'll start to see some heavier showers move in. Then downtown Indianapolis as we get a little bit closer to the top of the hour. And then down to the south, just a few showers in the Franklin and Martinsville area, and that is just about it. The back edge, though, you can see it's over here in eastern or western Indiana and eastern Illinois. That'll continue to make its westward trek, and once these showers are out of the forecast, turns into a decent afternoon for us with partly cloudy skies, Lauren, and a high temperature in the upper 70s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads right now. This is over on the east side, I-70 of you here near Post Road, where traffic is moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. Keep this in mind if you're traveling on the east side along westbound I-70. We do have the ramp blocked to Shadeland Avenue this morning. This is for a construction project set to last through Friday. So if you're traveling westbound on 70 and you're trying to get off 70 over on the east side, not only can you take 465, you could also take Post Road here as a possible detour. No crashes to report around the metro area, and that's great news for your Tuesday morning commute. It is 5:33 and working for you, WRTV is getting answers for renters who are having trouble applying for a financial assistance program here in Marion County.
Our Alyssa Donovan is working this story this morning. She joins us live with the details. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Raphael. Shortly after this program launched last month, we told you more than 10,000 people had applied for this program in just 3 days. And now some of those people need further assistance. They have been seeing some issues since the state's moratorium on evictions expired on Friday. More funding has been added to that program, but some people are now facing roadblocks as they try to sign up. We spoke with Kimberly Thomas, who tells us when she finally received an email with a code that her landlord needed to complete her application, another problem arose.
They tried to go in and process it, but when they looked at it, it came in as my child dependent name, which is on my lease and the application. So the rental office contacted me, said that they cannot process it because it's not in my name.
Thomas says after she followed up, the city responded saying several applicants had the same problem. The system does not allow edits after an application is submitted, and she can resubmit when the process reopens. And we did reach out to the city for further comment. They told us that they're working on a workaround and they're planning to reach out to Thomas's landlord to address the issue. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. A local organization is stepping up to help families juggle the additional challenges that are created by e-learning. The Mind Trust is partnering with neighborhood centers across the city to create community learning sites. The program kicked off Monday at the Edna Martin Christian Center in the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Special facilitators help support and guide the students. The program is designed for families who may not be able to stay at home with their kids.
I feel safe knowing that if I have to go and be away from him, that he's getting what he needs without me having to worry about him lagging behind.
I think that we've heard a lot about higher income families moving quickly to come up with creative solutions for their kids, and that's fine. But as a city, we have to make sure that we're supporting many of our families who are less privileged.
Well, the Mind Trust is investing $200,000 in this program. It is free and it's currently operating at 11 locations across the city. Facilitators are being hired to work at the sites. For more information on how to apply for a job or to sign up for the program, you can go to WRTV.com.
Lauren, let's take you north to South Bend. The University of Notre Dame is now reporting it's seeing a spike in the number of COVID-19 cases. Now, nearly 12,000 students were tested before being allowed on campus. The result of that, only about 33 students tested positive. That was then. The now, as in school started on August the 3rd, 58 more cases have now been confirmed. The university says many of the cases are connected to an off-campus party where social distancing was not practiced and masks were not worn. A university spokesman says they believe they can still get the spread under control without having to cancel classes and send students home.
So let's turn now to the impact of the coronavirus here in the Hoosier State. 6 new deaths were reported on Monday, and that's 3 more than were reported on Sunday. Since the pandemic began, 2,926 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19. 603 new cases of COVID-19 were also reported. That brings the state's total to 81,006. More than 914,000 Hoosiers have been tested for the coronavirus so far. 8.9% of those tests have come back positive. Raphael?
And new this morning, Indianapolis city leaders are continuing their efforts in hopes of curbing crime in the capital city. Today, a 3rd round of violence reduction grants will be handed out as part of the city's community-focused public safety strategy. Now, this program directs $300,000 to grassroots organizations that provide violence prevention programming and wraparound services in Indianapolis neighborhoods. Applications for the programs are reviewed by a panel of researchers from IUPUI. This year's grant recipients will be announced later this morning at 10 o'clock.
New developments surrounding the investigation into the Drayjon Reed death. State police are hoping you can track down a possible witness to the incident. ISP wants to speak with the driver and whoever else was in this SUV, which was seen at the intersection of 62nd Street and Michigan Road on Wednesday, May 6th, around 6 p.m. That was the day an IMPD officer shot and killed Reed after a chase. IMPD says there was an exchange of gunfire between the officer and Reed. Reed was killed. The officer was not hurt. Police say a weapon was found lying next to Reed's body. Attorneys for Reed's family say surveillance video shared in June is evidence that Reed was not holding a gun at the time. If you think you've seen that vehicle or if you know someone who is driving it, please call state police. That number is 765-778-2121.
Today, you can learn more about the city's plans for a Purple Line. That's Indigo's second rapid transit bus line system. And that new route would connect Lawrence on the city's northeast side all the way down to downtown Indianapolis. A virtual public meeting will be held at 5:30 today. You can find a link with more information in this story on our website, WRTV.com. Construction on the Purple Line is expected to begin sometime next year. Time now to check on your local forecast. And our Todd Clausen, he is tracking some scattered showers north of Indianapolis. Hey, Todd.
Good morning, Raphael. Yeah, they're working their way through here this morning. The good news is they'll move through fairly quickly, and then we'll get into a really, really nice afternoon across the area. So let's go over to Storm Team 6 radar, and we'll check them out for you. And you can see the heaviest of the rain is probably in the Muncie area right now, and then over into Hendricks County as you make your way into the Danville and Brownsburg and Avon area. We'll start here in northern locations, though, as we'll come into Anderson and Muncie. You can see the heavy rain there, which does impact Interstate 69 through both Delaware and Madison County. Will come into the Carmel area, and you're about to get into some heavier showers here as well as they approach US 31, and then over in Brownsburg, some heavier rainfall. This impacts I-74 as you make your way out of the Speedway area and then through Hendricks County. We'll deal with these rain showers off and on throughout the morning hours here, but by this afternoon, we will see the clouds start to move out and we'll get the sunshine back in the forecast. So rain chances will really start to tail off after the 10 o'clock hour. We'll talk more about the showers and look ahead to an absolutely beautiful stretch of weather that'll be heading our way coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thank you so much. Democrats launched their general election pitch during the first night of their virtual convention. At the same time, President Trump kicked off his multi-state campaign. We'll have the very latest election news right after the break.
And legendary Pike High School basketball coach Ed Siegel lost his battle with COVID-19, but his lessons on life live on, especially on former player who's writing his own legend in IndyCar. Our sports director, Dave First, talks to the president of Team Penske, Tim Cindric, about his former coach, Siegel. And that story is still ahead right here on Good Morning Indiana. Stick around. Welcome back. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will officially be nominated this week by the Democratic Party in the race for 2020. And Raphael, it all started last night.
And Lauren, the Democrats, of course, launching their virtual convention in Milwaukee last night. Day 2 is today as the pandemic really forces them and the Republicans to pivot these big political events. ABC's Ines Laquatera has more.
Overnight, a Democratic National Convention like no other. Former First Lady Michelle Obama giving the keynote address, like the rest of the DNC, virtually.
If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election.
The former First Lady urgently warning.
We have got to vote for Joe Biden like our lives depend on it.
Democrats challenged to capture the enthusiasm and party unity without a crowd. Headliners included leaders in the fight against COVID-19.
Now we need a leader as good as our people. A leader who appeals to the best within us, not the worst.
To Kristen Urquiza, a woman whose father died from the virus.
His only pre-existing condition was trusting Donald Trump, and for that, he paid with his life.
And they ranged from across the ideological spectrum, from self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders.
We must come together, defeat Donald Trump, and elect Joe Biden.
To former Ohio Governor and conservative Republican John Kasich.
I'm proud of my Republican heritage, but what I have witnessed these past 4 years belies those principles.
The Democrats also inviting 3 Republican women to speak who all endorsed Joe Biden for president.
This isn't about a Republican or Democrat. It's about a person.
This as President Trump tried to change the channel with some counter-programming in the key swing states of Minnesota and Wisconsin.
They're making speeches that are taped. Who wants to listen to Michelle Obama do a taped speech? No, you got to have her get up there.
Joe Biden will accept his party's nomination later this week from Wilmington, Delaware. Republicans will hold their convention next week. Inez de la Quatera, ABC News, Washington.
All right, outside right now, we're dealing with some rain showers here across parts of central Indiana. We'll start you off with your headlines. And as we go throughout the course of the morning hours, we're going to deal with these rain showers off and on just a little bit. But it's going to turn into a nice afternoon and then a near perfect evening. So you just have to be a little bit patient here this morning to get through the next couple hours. And then the weather's really going to start to improve. Outside right now, temperatures are sitting in the 60s and 70s. 70 right on the nose in Indianapolis, 68 in Greenwood. As we go over to WRTV radar, you can see that we are dealing with the heaviest of the rain stretching from Richmond up towards the Muncie area over towards Anderson right now, moving out of Newcastle, and then there's some heavier rain moving through Brownsburg and Avon, and this is getting ready to push into downtown Indianapolis. Speedway already seeing some of that rain, and then to the north, Carmel, Noblesville, you're seeing this rain making its way through the area. This is kind of the last hurrah of the front coming through. We started to build in a few isolated showers as expected yesterday afternoon, and not everybody's seeing this rain. As we throw the clouds on in the satellite picture, Bloomington to Bedford to Seymour, your skies are partly cloudy, mainly clear in Greensburg right now. So not everybody's dealing with this rain, and it's basically moving from west to east with maybe just a little bit of a southern tick a little bit on the radar in the last few frames. But as we go over to TrueCast, you could see most of this rain should be out of here by mid-morning, and then a spot shower or two could linger into the afternoon hours, but it will turn into a nice afternoon for us. You just got to be patient. So here's how it breaks down. Temperatures hold pretty steady for you this morning as we get into the noon hour. Skies become partly cloudy, and then as we work our way into the evening hours, we'll look at temperatures in the upper 70s with low humidity. It's really, really going to be nice out there this evening, so you can start making those plans maybe to fire up the grill or head out and about this evening. We're not going to be dealing with the rain throughout the entire day, and look at those temperatures. 70 degrees by 10 p.m. tomorrow morning. Most of us wake to temperatures in the 50s. We'll get up to right around 80 degrees with sunny skies for your day tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be absolutely wonderful, and then Thursday is great as well. 82 degrees. With mostly sunny skies, and then back up into the mid-80s for race weekend. A little more humidity around and just a chance of a spot storm, it looks like, as we work our way into race day. Right now, it looks like it's only about a 20% chance.
All right, Tom, thank you so much. Well, as you mentioned, the Indianapolis 500 is set for this Sunday. And you can't think about IndyCar without thinking about Team Penske. Yeah. The latest strong addition has been Tim Cindric. Raphael.
And so Tim learned life lessons at Pike High School right here in Indianapolis, and much of those lessons thanks to his basketball coach. Sports Director Dave First has more.
It was a spring where time stood still. No racing, no basketball, no nothing. And all with lives lost to COVID-19. At Pike High, that included its legendary former coach, Ed Siegel. One of his former players is Team Penske president, Tim Cindric.
When you heard the news, what did you think?
Well, I had spoken to him, a few months earlier, whatever else, and he was struggling with his back and some of the other things. So, certainly miss his voice and miss having conversations. But, I think you just stick with the memories.
And when it comes to Ed Siegel, there are plenty of those. He frankly put Pike basketball on the map, 25 seasons worth. Cindric was a captain on his 1985-86 team.
How often do you find yourself going back to things that maybe Coach Siegel said to you or told you that many years ago and you're still using to this day?
I think one of the things Coach Siegel always asked for was hard work. And, he always said that would pay off. It was one of those where he would call out of the blue or I would, or, when I was in Indy, especially during May, I would always check in with him during May.
Remember, Indy is as high stakes and as high pressure as it gets. The days blow by quickly, the cars even quicker. But it doesn't mean Tim still couldn't find time for his old high school coach.
As he would come to the track or whatever else, it was always good to see him. But for me, he never changed. It didn't matter what age he was or what age I was. It always seemed as though, I was still one of his players.
And that's exactly the way Ed Siegel wanted it. Season after season, practice after practice. No one was a player just for 1 year. To Ed, there was a bond for life.
A lot of people don't realize it. Every player that you coach, whether it's the last kid on the bench or the star of the team, that he doesn't realize it, but a part of him goes with you when he leaves. And you hope positively a part of you will go with him.
During Indiana's single-class basketball days, Ed put together 4 sectional championships, 2 regionals, and 5 Marion County championships, including one in Tim's senior season. He was demanding, he was tough, very few wanted it any other way.
For me, it was him and there was Bobby Knight. And he was the first step. If you were going to get to Bobby Knight, you had to get to him.
He'd get in your ass a little bit,
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You just hoped he was in somebody else's instead of yours.
Today, Tim is coaching his own team, personally a part of 3 IndyCar Series championships while running the most successful IndyCar team in the sport's history. But while the celebrations are here, you'll understand if on occasion his mind drifts to here, where for so many successful young men, it's where it all began.
I think athletics in general helps shape you for who you are. Athletics teach you how to work together in general. And, Coach Siegel was very much a proponent of that. He was less about your stats and more about the overall team wins and where the team goes. And the position that I'm in right now obviously has a lot to do with everybody doing their job and everybody understanding what the role is in that job.
Welcome back. So Senator Kamala Harris has chosen her Secret Service code name, and Raphael, it is Pioneer.
And so Pioneer is a nod to Harris becoming the first black woman and Indian American woman on a major presidential ticket ever. Former President Barack Obama was known as Renegade. Michelle Obama was Renaissance. Ms. Barbara Bush, Tranquility. President Trump's code name is Mogul. First Lady Melania is Muse. Biden has reclaimed the code name that he used while serving as vice president, which is Celtic. His wife, Dr. Jill Biden, also has taken on the name Capri. And of course, since I've covered a presidential campaign over my lifetime here, I have a couple of names for you guys. So, Lauren, a couple of choices. You get to pick out of the 3, either traffic diva, news lady, or Archie's mom. Todd, how about going golfing? GMI Giant, since you are the tallest on the GMI team, or simply good guy. And for myself, either Proud Papa or Dang, it's early.
Yes. Those are all
your
appropriate.
choices.
Oh my goodness, those are funny. Todd, I think today you're gonna have to pick a good nickname because we have some great forecasts, a great forecast for the week ahead.
Yeah, I'm going with going golfing. Not this morning, but later on this afternoon will be an option here. And for some of you can do it this morning. We are dealing with some rain showers, though, across parts of the area, especially north of Interstate 70. Some of those rain showers are making their way into the metro area. We only deal with them this morning. They'll move out of here over the next few hours, and then a beautiful stretch of weather starts this afternoon and takes us through much of the remainder of the week. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit when Good Morning Indiana continues.